Today we are sailing from Fitzroy Reef to Wistari Reef. I call it Wistari Reef several times during the videos, but eventually I get the hang of it. It's Wistari Reef. And we leave during a full tide, so we don't have to battle the race of the tide. We have our track on the GPS that we headed in on, so if we follow that we can't go wrong heading out. There's our first two markers, and gee, doesn't it look different when we're heading out at high tide compared to coming in at low tide? Chalk and cheese. That must be a proper marker because there's definitely a bird sitting on that one. Looks like he's been sitting there for quite a while. Yep, and there's another one. Definitely a proper marker. Well, that was a lot easier getting out than getting in, but not nearly as exciting. Was it, darling? Thank you. Don't shake your head at me, darling. There's a nice breeze on, so we put the headsail up, and I get into my usual position of reading, and Don gets into his usual position of hogging the camera. Get out of the way! That's my shot. Knots was really nice. Very good sail. It wasn't too long before we could see Heron Island on the horizon. You'll see a little blip just under the headsail on the horizon, a tiny little portion of land. Which is it? It's only a 2.5 hour sail over there, so about 10 nautical miles. Before too long we can actually see Wistari Reef coming up on our port side. It really is quite noticeable. You can see distinctly the pale blue on the inside of the reef and the murky colour which is the reef itself, and we were hoping to find a public mooring. There's Heron Island. We're approaching the area that we are looking to anchor, and Don pulls out the binoculars to have a look in that direction to see if he can see anything resembling a public mooring. A public mooring is always handy when you're at a reef location, so your anchor doesn't get caught in the reef, and also so you're not dragging and risking crashing into the reef. We think we spot one, so we pull the headsail in, turn the motor on and head over there. There's not another boat in sight, but we race over just in case one pops into view and grabs it, as there appears to be only one available. And success, folks, we have the only public mooring in sight, all to ourselves. Hooray! There it is over there. And you can't see the wreck, the shipwreck, from this angle that's there. But I'm going to paddle over and try and get some nice shots at sunset. Without a moment to lose, we jump into the dinghy and head out for a bit of a snorkeling expedition, just to see where the good spots are and check on the visibility. As you can see, the water sure does look clear, and the tide is dropping, so we need to be a bit mindful of that as we're looking around for our spots. This looks like a good spot, so we've thrown the anchor out and Don's going in to check it out. Oh dear. Yes, look at the back of Don's wetsuit. Poor Don. This is why we don't see him in the water too often. He's got a broken zipper. Oh dear. Oh no, what's wrong? He hasn't gone far, and I notice he's pulling up the anchor. Seems that it's got stuck around some coral. Luckily he can dive under and was able to retrieve it. I still can't get down. Yes, I think I've perfected the glamour shot of getting into the water with goggle and snorkel on. stand-up paddleboard, and we are just parked out the front of Heron Island, and it's beautiful. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I went for a bit of a snorkel before. Lots of beautiful coral, lots of beautiful fish. Visibility wasn't great, but it was the afternoon, so we're going to do it all again in the morning. I'm just going to switch the camera around and show you Heron Island. There it is over there. I'm going to try and paddle us over to the mooring buoy. I just want to show you that. We were lucky enough to pick up the only one here, and we're allowed to stay here for 24 hours, but nobody else here to say we could stay moving us along. No one here to move us along, so I also want to have a look at the coral up close before it comes over with the high tide, and just see what it's doing over there. I've got my coral walking boots on, not that I want to damage the coral, but I'm going to go and take a peek. Just going to grab this tag and show you. This is attached to the Marine Parks mooring buoy. It says wind up to 34 knots, monohull up to 25 metres, catamaran up to 22 metres, 24-hour limit. Look at all the coral dead ahead. I was going to try and go for a walk across that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to, even with these shoes on. It looks pretty impenetrable. I mean, this is insane. Look at that. Beautiful clams and coral. I just saw a blue-lipped clam before. Might see if I can find him again. Keep walking over. I'm going to try and hook the paddleboard up to those poles over there, if I can walk across without falling over. Try not to wreck too much coral in the meantime. It's pretty beautiful. There's another clam. Oh, that piece there. Beautiful colours. Paddleboards run aground again. Ooh, there's another clam. I do love the clams. Look at the colours. Well, this is ridiculously beautiful, people. I'm having so much fun out here. It's so still now. I saw a little reef shark go past before. That was exciting. Haven't seen one of those yet. I think they're pretty well fed. Nothing to worry about here. It's not going to let me stop. I think I got some water on the phone, just quietly. Mum did tell me I'd bugger it up. But how could I resist all this? I've got to show you all this. I am loving myself sick on my stand-up paddleboard. I gotta say, it is handy. It's inflatable. It came with a pump. It wasn't very expensive. It came with a pump and a paddle and a carry bag. And perfect for afternoons like this. With the sun setting, it is just gorgeous. There's our pretty boat. As the sun sets over Wistari Reef. You can just see the reef going under there, the edge of it. There's some land in the background. I don't know if you can see those dots on the horizon. Just beautiful. Oh, there's the island over there. Don't know how many people are staying there at the moment. Not many, I would think. Oh, look at the sky. There's the top of the whatever it is that I was strapped onto with the stand-up paddleboard before. It comes in pretty quick. Did I mention I saw a little reef shark out there before? Gave me a bit of a surprise. Good thing we're not up at Sid Harbour. I don't think the sharks are as hungry down here. Well, not that a reef shark would bite you. And there it goes. Thank you for watching the latest episode of Sailing the Carly. If you liked it, click like and subscribe, and that'll help our ranking in YouTube. See you next time.